hype, hype. Come with me tonight, tonight. Can't you see? I wanna be with you. Hype, hype. Come with me tonight, tonight.
Hello, people. What is going on? I hope everyone is all well. It's Tuesday. More news with West Ham United Football Club about Niclas Füllkrug, Antonio, and my guy, Jared Bowen. Before I get started, please do smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way. It really helps me out. Before I get started, I want to say a special something. Yeah, it's World Suicide Prevention Day. Right, big thing close to my heart. Obviously, a year ago, a thing happened to me in a situation with one of my sort of friends, and yeah, he took his own life in that regard. Now, anyone who's out there who's struggling, yeah, listen, your life is worth living. Yeah, don't give your life away, mate, just for a moment of madness. Do you know what I'm saying? And it'll go from there, really. But you know, you just got to look out for each other, look out for everyone, and speak to people at the end of the day. I see a video from Norwich City. It's been a video that's been going on for the last year about two fans. One of them who looks down in the dumps and, you know, looks like he's very, very depressed. Another one looks upbeat and joy, and it ends up being the upbeat and joy one that ends up taking his own life. So, you know, you've got to appreciate life, and you've got to appreciate the moments that we've got, because we're only here once, and don't waste it away, mate. That's one thing I'm going to say. Now, moving on to the football topic of conversation. Niclas Füllkrug is down and out. He's done his Achilles, I think it is. Achilles tendon, I think, if memory serves me right. I remember reading it yesterday. Couldn't believe it. I was like, fair enough, is what it is. And we've got a problem there at centre forward level. Do you know what I'm saying? For me, Mikel Antonio can't be going in at centre forward. He simply can't. It is now time for Jared Bowen to be the man. Yeah, he is the guy. He is the one that he will score the goals from the front. Yeah, what people have got to understand, and always about Jared Bowen on the right. He's so good on the right. He's amazing on the right. He's so good up front and all, because what he does, he presses from the front, and defenders and the opposition will go back a few yards because they know he's got the pace to get in behind. So listen, I think Bowen has to go up front. If Mikel Antonio's up front again, then I'm not buying it, mate. I'm simply not. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm just simply not buying it. I don't think it's right at all. Lewis, how you doing, mate? Hope you're all well, and everything's all good with you, mate. And Stuart, no worries, mate, at all. So yeah, listen, let me know what you think in the comments about Bowen. Yeah, for me, it has to be Bowen up front, Mo on the right, Paqueta as the 10, and Crescencio Somerville on the left. Simple as that. Simple as that. It's that easy. Yeah, even I can say it. Do you know what I'm saying? Right. So, you know, you've got to, it's time to attack now. All this sort of, do West Ham really need a three-man midfield against Fulham away when we've got a strike force like that? I don't think so. I think we need to go there and attack from the front. And I think we're good enough to do that and all. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm going to go for about 20 minutes. I've only got 15 people watching me because people are at work. I've finished for the day. I've come home. I've seen a lot of stuff on Twitter. And I did post something on Twitter. Anyone who follows me on Twitter about Roberto's greatest hits. And people have said to me I've spoilt their lunch. I do apologise on that. I will say that. Stuart says, Bowen up top. Goodness right. Some of them left. Paqueta middle. Same as me, mate. Lincoln, how you doing, mate? Hope you're all well. Afternoon, James. Sorry to hear about your mate. Been battling depression myself for years and in a good place these days. Love the channel. Keep up the good work, fella. That's what it's about, man. Listen, I'm going to be real, yeah? And I'm not like any other fucking channel, right? I speak from there, yeah? I'm not a mouthpiece for anyone else. I speak from the art. And my art always says to me, do the right thing, yeah? Even if it's someone I despise, I'll still do the right thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's how I work in life. Do you know what I'm saying? What I do good in life will always come back to me in the end, and it will come back to me in the end. I know it will. So, you know, I look at certain situations, especially over the last year. I've seen a lot of stuff, Men suicide currently right now is rife. I'm going to be honest. It is literally, it's getting to a stage where it's becoming unbearable to a point. I even see something the other day, going a bit off topic, but I will mention it, about a child maintenance service and about a young man who literally split up with his missus. He was like going for the child maintenance service about paying for his kids and everything, and he had to pay £700 a month for, I think it was two children. He ended up killing himself, mate. Ended up killing himself because he couldn't do it, and he basically he left a sort of suicide message on Facebook, turning around and saying that I hope that through my death, basically, um, this will open up a conversation. And I'll be honest, it was sad. It's sad. Like I've, how can I put it? Recently, I've never been in that situation, but many, many years ago, I was once upon a time in that situation where I had good people around me. I had a great family around me, really good mates who pulled me from the edge. Do you know what I'm saying? And listen, at the end of the day, a problem shared. My motto is a problem shared is a problem halved. At the end of the day, and if you've got a problem, you can speak to five different people, and it'll make there's always a solution to a problem. Yeah, there is no problems. There's always solutions, and you can always sort it out from there. Do you know what I'm saying? I know I'm getting a bit deep on this Tuesday afternoon after 6 minutes, but it is what it is. It needs to be said. Do you know what I mean? Not enough people say it, and a lot of young lads, I do feel for them. Do you know what? I'm going to mention this, yeah, because I know I'm going a bit off topic, but I will get back on track in a minute. I done a TikTok the other day, and a TikTok user was on my live feed and basically said that his girlfriend had like sort of cheated on him, and it's things like that could trigger the mind to say, you know what, I'm not good enough for them. Am I good enough in life? You are good enough in life. Mark my words, you're 100% good enough in life, and make yourself better. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't let no man or woman get you down to a level where you have to go down that road. Do you know what I mean? Because that's a road that you will never return from. Do you know what I mean? Stay away from that road. That's my attitude on that. So yeah. Let's get to Colin. Right, I'll get back on football terms now because, yeah, I know it's a strong day today, but got to get back on it. James, I know what you're saying about Bowen up front, but I don't. But don't forget, Kudus has played as a striker. I would not be surprised if got put him up front. Nah, for me, Bowen up front because he presses better all day long to sort my collar out. He presses better from the front. I think he's a better presser than Mo, even though I do like Mo. I want Mo on the right. Yeah, because if you've got Mo on the right, he can work well with Wan-Bissaka. He hasn't got to keep tracking back and covering Wan-Bissaka because Wan-Bissaka is very, very good. And I want to see Crescencio Somerville and all. Like that's another person that seems to get not a mention at all. Like this kid was Leeds' best player last year. Um, he was also the Championship player of the year. Do you know what I mean? So he needs to get off the bench and get up, get in our side. And for me, the time is now 4-2-3-1, and let's go out and out attack. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel on it. I really do. Lee, afternoon. Hope you're well, mate. Um, who we got here? Ings banged that in a hat trick. Yeah, but do you know who they was playing against? What no one tells you, it was like a makeshift Dagenham side for the youngsters and everything else. Do you know what I'm saying? If we're going to start giving Danny Ings the opportunity, then no, not for me. All right. The best solution is Bowen. Now, if we have to go with Antonio, then that's a bit of a problem for me because Antonio, again, like he hasn't done nothing in these first, what, 3 games that he's played. Not for me. It's just simply not for me. Like I want to see a fluid front four or front three at that matter. Now, if you don't believe in Paqueta as a 10 and you want to go 4-3-3, you go Crescencio left, you go Kudus right, and you go Bowen through the middle. There is so many ways that you can get around this, yeah. But it just feels like to me people are scared. They're shit scared. They're literally shit scared to play him up front. Do you know what I'm saying? Bowen is a one-touch finish merchant. Yeah, if he gets a chance in the box, yeah, he's shooting on sight. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. I want to see Bowen like in there and having the opportunities. Do you know what I'm saying? Amount of times that I've seen other strikers at this club have opportunities and they've spooned them over the bar, spooned them wide, And I look at Bowen and I think if he's in that situation, he don't miss them chances. He simply doesn't. Do you know what I'm saying? And when people say about Bowen's better on the right, who would you rather have up front? Because I would rather Bowen be up front and Kudus on the right. I think Kudus carries the ball much better. Like I mean, like, and he's more powerful from that right. He can drive into the box, and that's what we need. Uh, Somerville has done enough to get a chance Saturday. He has to get a chance, Lewis. Like he simply has to get the opportunity. For me, I don't understand for the life of me why he's not being given the chance. And what irritates me is they've got Mo on the left, who's not a left-sided attacker. He's a right-sided attacker, and he's an attacking 10 to a point. But you've got Mo on the left. All you've got to do is just take Bowen up front, Kudus on the right, Somerville on the left. It solves the problem altogether. It's like West Ham are trying to be unbalanced to a point, and I don't understand why. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like for me, I'm just, you know, I, Bowen, but I trust Bowen. That's that is the problem with me. I trust that man. I do. I'm even seeing people right now criticising him as being captain of West Ham. He's been captain like for fucking 4 games, and people are criticising him. Yeah, let's stop criticising him for crying out loud. Like Jared Bowen will be fine up front. He definitely will, and he'd be better than what we've got now. Obviously, a Niclas Füllkrug injury is a bit of a problem because it's Achilles tendon. I read up on it last night, funny enough, and it could go from anywhere between a month or 3.5 weeks to a month, up to 3 months, depending on the scale of the injury. Now, we won't know more of that probably till the middle of this week, i.e., Wednesday or Thursday. So that's going to be interesting to see how long he's out for. It's just we're cursed. We are just cursed with strikers at our club. We get a striker in, doesn't really hardly play a game, and this is the thing that irritated me, right? In regards of why is he not playing? Because he goes and plays for Germany. All of a sudden, he gets an injury now and he's out. Do you know what I mean? There's no way he's back. He'd probably be back the next international break, which is 4 weeks' time, 5 weeks' time. That's when he'll be back. So, yeah, I'm just. What can you say? What can you say? Even though I would love to see Kudus 9, he's more destructive on the right. I agree, Fred. 100% agree on that. Like, I just don't get why people are so scared of it. Yeah, it's like they are shit scared worried. Their last season, I roll back to last season. I remember it clear as day, Christmas period. Yeah, we played Manchester United, we played Wolves, we played Arsenal, 4-3-3. 4-3-3, Bowen, Kudus, Paqueta, front three. It was even touted that that was one of the best front threes in the Premier League. Now, all of a sudden, people have gone, oh no, we need a centre forward up there for all of a sudden. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, we've got to go back to type. We've got to have Antonio or Füllkrug. No, we need someone up front who's going to score goals consistently and bang us into Europe. That's what we're after. Because that's the reason. Otherwise, you don't. What's the point taking Bowen out and replacing him with a lesser player? You just don't do it. Do you know what I'm saying? Hi, James. Hope you're well. I agree. Bowen up top. Antonio or Ings. Yeah, Danny Ings, mate. Danny Ings. Fucking stealing a living, that geezer. Hat-tricks against reserves. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below, if you agree or disagree with what I'm saying in regards to Füllkrug. Now, Antonio, obviously, has got Jamaica. Like, he's been and played for Jamaica. I'm not too sure when he's back. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure if they play tonight or it's tomorrow night. But I wouldn't risk it. Bowen's playing tonight against Finland, right? At Wembley, right? Or wherever it is. Yeah. If he might not even get on the pitch, right? He might have a nice little rest and, might come on for 10 minutes. You just don't know. Yeah. Get him up front on Saturday. Do you know what I mean? Well, one thing I need to see West Ham free flowing attacking football on Saturday. Yeah, I've not seen it. All I've seen is us playing a counter attacking game against sides. And I need us to go to Fulham and win. Do you know what I mean? If we're going to compete for Europe this season, we have to go to Fulham and win the game. It's as simple as that. Do you know what I mean? Because teams that are up there basically go to Fulham and win. Do you know what I'm saying? We know what your opinion is on who should play up front, but who do you think he will play up top? Antonio, mate. And that's where that, Lewis, is where it angers me to a point, because I think it will be Antonio. I'm I'm pretty certain he goes with Antonio up front for 70 minutes. If it doesn't work out, he changes it, brings Crescencio Somerville on, and then basically does exactly what I've been saying from the start. That's what I believe he'll do. Um, I will be stunned if he goes Bowen, Kudus, Paqueta, and Somerville. He should do. Like Crescencio Somerville, I actually feel sorry for this kid because I don't think he he's not a player that needs to be bedded in, always bedding in bollocks. He played in the Premier League 2 seasons ago. He was the best player in the Championship last season. What I've seen of him, he needs to play games. Like he needs to play, like literally. And I feel like he's sitting there, and for what? He's not a 5 minute merchant. He simply isn't. And the problem is, and this is the argument that I have quite a lot. I hear quite a lot at all. Right, with Crescencio Somerville, is that he will probably play in the League Cup game against Liverpool. We'll probably go out of that competition. Like, how can you play him in 2 League Cup games and not give him a real good go? Like, this is the time now. This is like this. The time is now. If Füllkrug's not fit and Antonio ain't doing it, just go with Bowen up front, Kudus, Somerville. And if you don't believe in Paqueta being a 10, you want to keep him in midfield, fair enough. But that front three is a fucking good front three. That's got pace on either flank. That's got players who can beat a man on either flank. And you got Jared Bowen who's going to be on the move consistently. Our pressing game will be a lot better. It just makes a lot of sense. Do you know what I'm saying? But we will see if Lopetegui's going to do it or not. For me, the international should be after the season ends. If we were season would finish a few weeks earlier, but would save countries having to fly players everywhere 5 or 6 times. What I believe, Alan, yeah, on the this international thing, is I don't agree with this one. Right, I agree with the October one because obviously that's 2 months, right? But I don't agree with the September one. Yeah, I really don't. That really angers me. The season starts off, and then you've got to wait another 2 weeks for an international break to happen. Um, I would rather it, even in a circumstance, I would rather a 2 week break in October or November, so the players can go and do the international games for 2 weeks and then come back and then not play again. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so that they build up all the way up to November, have 2 weeks off, 2.5 weeks off, and then come back and then do it that way. Like I just feel this international break is it's always a curse to West Ham. It always is. And Füllkrug, well, for me personally, I haven't seen nothing of him. Like to say, yeah, he should be definitely starting, even though he should be definitely starting. But it's just one of them, mate. Right, let's have a look. What we've got here, Lincoln. Just look at Liverpool did with Salah, Mane, Firmino. No big target man needed. Completely agree, mate. Completely agree. You got Bowen, Kudus, and Somerville. You got Bowen, Kudus, and Paqueta. Um, Personally, if you don't fancy Somerville now, you stick Paqueta on the left. Yeah, what we need is balance in this side. And the one thing I have not seen with West Ham is that we're very much balanced. Do you know what I'm saying? Um, and Kudus on the left, that's one that just baffles me. Like literally baffles the life out of me completely. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's just one of them at the end of the day. I don't know why my mic keeps doing that, but it does. James, I'm not sure it will be Antonio. He'll be playing for Jamaica at 3 a.m. on Wednesday morning. Blimey. Wednesday morning. So, yes, this late one this evening in the morning, isn't it? Yeah, but what he'll do, they will play and then he'll get him back. See, if that is the case and Antonio starts at Craven Cottage on the Saturday afternoon, then questions will need to be asked of what is going on. Do you know what I mean? Uh, do you know what? I would start to Debo. I really would. I think now is the time. Now is the time for Debo to come in and play. Do you know what I'm saying? If you want to build that partnership up with Max Gilman, and they've both been at home and been training together for the last X amount of days, you start to Debo, yeah, and you go right. This is your moment now, yeah. I don't feel I'm just not. I look at Mav, right, and this is not me having a dig at him or nothing, but I look at him, he's the best third choice defender for West Ham for me. Like, he's the one that you sort of call upon if your main two are not fit or injured or suspended or anything. Yeah. So I look at Mav and I just don't see it. I don't see him any good at passing the ball into the middle of the park. Every single time he plays the ball into midfield, yeah, gets dispossessed and they're counter attacking on us. It happened at Crystal Palace. There was games. There was a game pre. I think it was at Bournemouth where he come on. He was awful. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm not convinced on that. How long is that right out for? Um, well, I read up on it. Now you can take it for me that I read up on it, and it said anywhere between 3.5 weeks to 3 months, depending on the scale of the injury. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, if it's a small little sort of tear or rip or whatever it is, then it might be a month. Yeah, but he's going to be out. Let's put it this way: he's going to be out for the next few weeks. I probably would say the next international break or Ipswich in October might be when he returns. So you know that's just that, isn't it? We should have signed Duran. End of. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, lads, isn't it? Do you know what I'm saying? Hindsight's a wonderful thing, especially when you see how good he's doing, Duran. Like when you see how good Duran is and how good he's performed so far this season, like the goal against us, the goal against Leicester City, and it just pains me to wonder. Like I just wonder. I would love to know what was said in that boardroom. I said like you've gone for Duran, like you've got a choice, and then someone just says, you know what, Niclas Füllkrug's there, but yeah, he isn't able to complete a pass. I agree with you on that, mate. Tadibo was trying a little bit too hard to impress on his appearance. He will be fine. I agree. I agree, but I think I think you're gonna have to bring him in now, like sooner rather than later for me. Like, because obviously I got the fixtures wrong. It's actually Fulham, Chelsea, Liverpool is the game after, and that's the following week. Now, do you bring him in against Chelsea? No, I think you get him in against Fulham. And we've got to win now. That's one thing I will say is last season they completely smashed us to bits last season. Like absolutely give us a good hiding. And then they're boasting about it on social media. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Taking the piss out of us and everything. So I'd love West Ham to go there and really go to town on Fulham. Like really. And I think the only way they do that is if they attack from the front. They attack Fulham from the front, they will go through for them, no problem. Yeah, I've not seen nothing of Fulham to go, wow, yeah, great. Do you know what I'm saying? So even though against Manchester United, they give him a good game, he didn't get the result though. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't believe in this internationals so early in the season due to fitness levels. See, I agree. I agree. And that's the argument that some people always say, yeah. They always turn around and say, oh, players need time and all that. But fucking Füllkrug starting for Germany. Like, I didn't look at him and go, oh, he needs time. He comes straight in and now he's injured. Do you know what I'm saying? What are you saying about Antonio, though? If it is Antonio? If the team comes out on Saturday at 2 o'clock and Antonio's starting and if he starts Antonio, he's probably going to go Antonio, Bowen, Kudus on the left, Paqueta, Alvarez, Rodriguez, and then the back four will probably be Wan-Bissaka, probably Mavropanos. I don't think it's going to be anyone else. Kilman and Emerson, right? If he starts Antonio up front, I'm lost. I'm lost with it. And this is the argument that I've had for ages, yeah. And I've said it to cut through the lads on this channel that with Steiden, if when he come in, sure to God, there must have been like a plan to say, right, who is going to be the next striker at West Ham United Football Club? Like, who is the man to replace Mikel Antonio? And honestly, we haven't replaced him. We simply haven't. All we've done is just sort of got done a bit of a sideward step really with Füllkrug to say, right, he's here, we'll get him. Duran would have been the guy, but obviously we didn't get him, did we? Antonio is done, in my opinion. He doesn't even look interested anymore. Jazza, I hope you're well, mate. Nation League is pointless. If Antonio starts, I'll pull my ball there out. I'm going to be honest, mate. If Antonio starts on Saturday, considering someone just said there he's playing at 3 a.m. on Wednesday morning, so he's going to have Wednesday daytime or Wednesday night to get back, Thursday night, Friday night, and also he's got a train plus jet lag. If he starts up front on Saturday afternoon, then I am going to go mad. I'm going to be honest. I will lose my shit because it's like you're trying to do. It's like you're trying to please players to a point rather than just standing back and going, right, who's best at this precise moment? And the best at this precise moment is the front four that I've said. Simple as that. Why is it that every striker we sign still can't get in over Antonio? Joe, what someone said to me the other day, it's like Lopetegui's scared to a point to change. Because I think I think what it is with a lot of people, they look at Antonio and think, right, he's a safe bet. He will give 100%. He will be a sort of nuisance to a point, and no one else can do what he can do. But I think we need to go away from that sort of big, sort of centre forward up front. I think Jared Bowen up front, for me, for two reasons. One, he can play on the last man all the time. He's got the pace to get him behind. So if the quality of ball through the middle is good, Bowen's onto it straight away. And you will see a lot of goals like Newcastle away last year, like Prague, where he was just spinning behind and ball comes in. And listen, Jared Bowen in a one-on-one situation don't miss. He don't miss. He's clinical in that situation every single time, right? I can't remember him once being through one-on-one and missing. And as I say, I remember him at Hull, yeah. And people used to say to me, James is one of the best one-on-one finishers you're ever likely to see, right? Because he's always composed. He always makes. It seems like he's got loads of time on the ball. So for me, that's one point. The second point is the pressing. If West Ham are going to be this pressing side, yeah, and not allow teams to sort of dictate to us, we're going to have to press from the front. And Bowen can do that. Bowen can hunt that ball down with Kudus, with Somerville, with Paqueta as a four-man unit and literally cause mayhem, really. Do you know what I mean? Cause panic. There was many games. I remember a game last season, Spurs away, where West Ham pressed from the front in the second half. First half, it was awful. Second half, we pressed from the front and both our goals come from that sort of mistakes from them. So, that's how it should be. Right, let's have a look. Of all the strikers we've refused to spend money on over the years, where do you think Duran ranks? Oh, Jazza. Oh, he's up there, mate. He's up there. Because I think, oh, yeah, that's a good question. I feel that maybe they dropped the ball on that one because they tried to play the game with Villa. Now, I remember doing spaces in the summer and I was saying it to people when they was like, oh, you're talking shit, James. But I said, Villa, I haven't got to sell him for less. If Villa want 40 million and a pound, that's what Villa are going to do because they've got him under lock and key. The only thing I will say is where does it rank? It's up there, mate. Because if he goes on to have a really good season this season, which could happen, then what? Do you know what I'm saying? We ain't getting him again, and we've missed the boat to a point. So I honestly feel this one's going to be one that's going to haunt us for a little while. One thing with Loppy he does learn from his mistakes pretty well so far. He does. I'll give him his due, Fred. He does. Yeah. In certain games, the only game that I remember really where I was like, well, what are you doing? Is Villa. Yeah. Against Crystal Palace, I wasn't happy with the lineup at the start, but at half time, he sort of looked at it, assessed it, changed it. He changed it when Sufal and Antonio went off. All of a sudden, we're on a different side. Man City was another one. Even though we was getting completely destroyed against City, half time changed it, come out. And for the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes of that game in the second half, if West Ham would have scored, and it would have gone 2-2. Completely different game. Literally completely different game altogether. So, you know, uh, Antonio should be nowhere near the starting lineup. His legs have gone, his touch is getting worse, and he's travelling miles to Jamaican games, which doesn't help matters. See, I agree with Lincoln on that. I really do. Let's get to this comment. Only 5 options. He's Bowen up top, Kudus right, Somerville left wing, but I'm not the coach. You haven't got to be the coach, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not a coach, and I'm screaming for that. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just common sense. Like, it's just common sense at the end of the day. You've got to have people on either flank who are pace merchants, like someone who can get in behind all the time. And listen, Bowen can do it. He really can. I've got every faith in the kid. And Antonio can't hold the ball up. He can't finish his first 9 chances. He can only last. See, the thing is, the last 15 minutes, Mikel Antonio coming on, deadly, deadly. Like that is a good sub to bring on. If you've got a worn down Fulham side on Saturday and the game's poised at 1-1, and Crescencio Somerville, he's probably going to be the one who's going to get hooked out of all three of them. Yeah. So you've got Bowen, Paqueta, Kudus, and then Somerville. Somerville's going to be the one to go, right? You can easily change it around. You can easily go, right, Antonio up front, Mo as a 10, Paqueta on the left, and then you've got Bowen on the right. It's as simple as that. You can easily change it around. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's just, for some reason, if people are just so scared about letting him be a centre forward. I've never seen nothing like this. Plot twist: we've recalled a Callum Marshall, and he outscores Ireland. Yeah. Shout out to Colin. If we could not get Duran, we should have gone for. I ain't gonna balls his name up, but you know who he is. It's similar a build to Haaland and quick. Yeah, but you know what? He went to Porto in a £15 million deal with a 50% sell-on clause. So make of that what you make of it, mate. Honestly. I wonder if he will start Aaron Wan-Bissaka left back to handle Traore. Hope not. I don't think so, mate. I think Wan-Bissaka right, Emerson left. Do you know what I'm saying? If you can do it in the Euro final, last few minutes, that says it all. Bowen is class. I agree, mate. Antonio is a human pinball machine. The ball hits, and no one knows where it goes. Yeah, I feel sorry for Antonio because for me, he should have been sold. He should have been sold, yeah, this summer. I think West Ham should have been looking to get rid of Ings and Antonio to a point. But as a sub, I suppose he's not a bad option to bring on. For me, though, you have to go with pace merchants up front, younger, fitter, fresher players. I actually think with a older player up front, I think you slow down the attack because for how good Füllkrug is he can he handle the Premier League? That's the $1 million question. Now, at present, we ain't going to know that for a little while because he's injured. But Antonio does slow down our attacks at times. Do you know what I'm saying? He really does. And what I want to see with West Ham is I want someone to pick the ball up from deep, i.e., Alvarez, Rodriguez, Paqueta, whoever. Yes, Soler, right? Even if they went Soler, Alvarez, and Paqueta as a three-man midfield, because you don't need two DMs, yeah, in Rodriguez and Alvarez. Yeah, I don't believe. So you take Rodriguez out, you put Carlos Soler in, who's like a sort of can make stuff happen. You play balls down the side, through the middle, over the top for the likes of Somerville, Bowen, Kudus. We are good. We are very good. So, Antonio will ruin his legacy if he doesn't jog on soon. I actually agree with you on that. That's why I feel it was more it was more it was more right to say goodbye now. Yeah. And the thing is, what it does so irritate me. It really does that we just haven't pinpointed that striker that we need. Like, is Füllkrug really the fucking second coming of like the next best thing? Not for me. He simply isn't. I get the hype. I really do. But if you were signing, just for argument's sake, we would have signed Duran, then you could see the development of the team. Do you know what I mean? You're starting with a younger base up front. not 31 and 30, 32, 33, 34 year olds. Honestly, the disrespect for Antonio is a disgrace. I know, I know one would think he's our all-time highest scorer. You haven't got to rate him, but fuck's sake, show him some respect. Listen, I show him respect, mate. I show him respect, but I'm going to say this, Captain Caveman. He is not good enough anymore from the start. Simple as that. Listen, you can love him, you can praise him, you can bow down and kiss his feet. He is not good enough from the start, mate. And I will say it quite openly. I will say it over and over again, and I will say it every single time I do a stream. He is not good enough from the start at 34 years old in a claret and blue shirt. Now, if you want to get Europe, which let's have it right, that's our aim. We have to get Europe this year. Otherwise, it's good night Kudus, good night Alvarez, good night Paqueta. We have to get Europe. It is that important. Antonio can't be the centre forward at West Ham. Yeah, he simply can't. And we have to go for people who are going to bang in goals in key moments at key times. People knock Thomas Soucek, yeah, he scores goals at key times, but they fucking hate him. Yeah, Antonio, for me, doesn't do enough. Doesn't do enough up front. And a 20-minute role from the bench is enough to win us games, but not a 70-minute role from the start. It's as simple as that. It is. It's as simple as that, really. We need to get Somerville starting. He will transform our left side, mate. Aaron, I agree, mate. I don't know how more times I've got to say it. Crescencio Somerville is sitting there waiting, right? He's just patiently waiting, and he needs to be given the opportunity, right? He's not shit, and he don't need time. So why is he not being involved? Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like Mo isn't really getting the. You're not getting the best of Mo, right? And we know how good Mo is. Let's be real. We know how good Mo is, right? He is phenomenally good, right? But are we getting the best of Mohamed Kudus on the left hand side? The answer to that is no. I think we're getting about 80% of Mo on the left when we need him 100%. Like we need players on 100% max every game, and we can't be shoehorning players into positions and hoping that they're going to work. You just can't do it. Otherwise, it will come back and bite us on the arse. Now, Crescencio Somerville is not a shit player. He don't need time, as I said before, and he's a player that, honestly, he's very good. He's very good. I was massively excited about signing him. I really was. I thought to myself, you know what? He's 22. He's fast. He can beat a man. He's not a Ben Rama, right? When people slag him out and say, "Oh, he's not another Ben Rama," Ben Rama will beat a man and go back and try and beat him again. Crescencio will beat a man and move the ball forward fast with pace. He's he glides along the ground. He literally glides along. He got that sort of cut inside and shot. Should have scored against Manchester City if it wasn't for their goalkeeper making an unbelievable save and it hits the post and goes out. Give him a chance. Give him a chance. On the like, I don't know what West Ham's style is at the minute. I really don't. Are we a possession-based side? Are we a counter-attacking side? Someone sent me a graph the other day, yeah, and they sort of sent me all this sort of graph with all fucking numbers and figures and everything like that. So I said to him, I said, "Can you put it in layman's terms for me what it means?" And he went, "Well, basically, James, we are like a counter-attacking unit at the minute. Now, if we're a counter-attacking unit, you need fast players on the break, and Cryer is the guy. Cryer is the guy, 100%. That's a title for another video. Right, what is it? Well, it's funny how managers keep playing him and not what our fans want. We've got no choice. That's the reason, Captain Caveman. Do you know what I mean? We've got no choice. We have to play him, otherwise he will leave us forever. When Antonio charges down the left, he hugs the line, hasn't got the pace or ability to cut in and beat his man. He does well as nuts. That's raging. Yeah, I agree, mate. Bowen up front for me. Shout out to you, mate. The criticism of Antonio is not disrespect. He's been shot at for the last 2 years and turns up for max 1 or 2 games per season. Oh, 1 minute. I'm going to say this to back him up on that comment now. Yeah. Last season when he come back from injury, I thought Antonio was good. I'll be real. I thought there was games last season. He come back. I remember Newcastle away where he scored the goal. Liverpool, he scored another goal. It looked very, very good when he come back after injury. So I ain't gonna knock him on that. But if you want a team to be sort of on the break or on the counter, Antonio's not the guy. He's just simply not the fucking guy at the end of the day. Do you know what I'm saying? He runs out of steam. And the thing is, and I question anyone to watch this, yeah, on Saturday, please, right, on my life, yeah, I say it with chest. If he starts, watch him after 20 minutes. He runs out of gas, doesn't press enough from the front, um, and he sort of walks around to a point. Now, when I'm watching a game, I'm watching the game, but I'm also watching the players and all. Because when I'm doing the player ratings, I like to see what the players are doing off the ball. Yeah. So the ball will be up in the air and the player will be walking around or whatever. I like to see what they are contributing off the ball. Are they marking their man? Are they looking for are they anticipating the ball or whatever? Yeah. A few games this season, I've seen Antonio and I've gone, he don't look on it at all. He don't look up for it to a point. And if you're trying to keep your space, you need to be doing a bit more than what he's currently doing. So yeah, James? Do you think Soler starts versus Fulham and rest Paqueta? I think Paqueta starts, mate. I really do. I Do you know what? I don't know what it. I think it's because he's out of position, Michael. If I'm honest, I think he's out of position, and this is what's doing him, making him look bad. Yeah, I don't like him in that three-man midfield because with Paqueta, he's got this tendency of giving the ball away in key areas, right? And then teams are breaking on us to a point. It happened against Villa. It happened against. It happened in one of the games. I think it was either. Yeah, it was Crystal Palace. Yeah, he gave the ball away and they counter attacked us again. I want him as a 10, mate. Or worst case on the left. Stick him on the left hand side with Emerson. He can work well and do that. Yeah, that to me, okay, fair enough. Don't 100% agree with it, but I can get it because you're working with Emerson and it gets Emerson interested to a point. Yeah. But where he is, if he fucks about in the middle of the park and gives the ball away, teams are on us. Teams are on us straight away. And that is a problem. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't like him there. I really don't. I think you have to give Paqueta the ball. Basically, when you're coming out, you need him to have the ball 35, 40 yards out from the goal. So he can get the ball and he can turn and he can either play balls through the middle or over the top or down the sides for Bowen, Kudus, Paqueta. Uh, Somerville, sorry. So that's what I believe in. And I think the position is making him look shit, if I'm being honest. Like, do I look at him and so far this season, I think he's been great? No, I think he's been fucking awful, if I'm being honest. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, Antonio, you are right, James. Antonio has been declining for a while now. I was a fan of his. Füllkrug is not anything like Dean Ashton. He would have loved to have played in this team, mate. Good old Dean Ashton. Who remembers old Dean Ashton, mate? He was one. I tell you what, I was there that famous night in Manchester. Yeah, 2006. Fucking hell, show me age now. I was 19. Yeah, and he scored that goal in the FA Cup, and it just went mad, like literally mad against Man City. And I remember him in the sort of semi-final, right? This is how cursed I am, people, with betting. Yeah, so sometimes my betting skills have got better over the years, but back in the day, I was fucking unlucky. Um, in the semi-final against Villa. No, it wasn't Villa. It was at Villa. It was against Borough. Yeah. Um, I backed there, Ashton. I thought, right, Ashton's going to score it today. Right, he's on form. I fucking love him. And yeah, Marlon goes and scores it, and I was celebrating the goal, but I was like, for fuck's sake, why could Ashton have scored? And Ashton had a great chance before Edwards did score. So yeah, I love Dean Ashton, mate. What a player! Such a shame. Yet again, though, and we go back to it. International again, ruined him. Fucking ruined his career basically to a point. And this is why I think internationals need to sort of, especially in the first month of the new season, like I think it's about the clubs more than anything. But more games in the Champions League, Europa League, and now internationals and all. It's not right. Do you think Sullivan was at fault for not getting Duran? Lowballing Villa with a 30 million bids. I don't know, mate. I don't know. See, the thing is on that, right? The issue is, which I think, this is what I personally think, is I think Villa were taking the piss to a point and asking for a sell. I think it was a sell-on clause of 20%. So if this geezer goes for 100 million, they're getting 20 million pound for it, right? Now, for me, if you believe in Duran and he's your guy, he's the one that you're targeting from the start of the summer. And let's have it right here. All you guys who are probably watching this right now, 50s in the chat, you would have probably seen it all over the summer with Duran. It's just consistent with Duran. Shout out to the music band. When you're chasing a player down for so long, you've got to go and get him. You have to. And to go and change profile, change age, change everything, it just feels like it was a panic buy to a point. And someone said it, I think Lou said it the other night on the After Hours, what I've done. He said, do you feel that West Ham were trying to play the game with Villa and then they got backed into a corner and said, right, we ain't budging. And Füllkrug could have possibly went somewhere else. So they nailed Füllkrug down and said, right, we'll just sign Füllkrug. That wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't. But do you know what? I look at this and I feel like, for me, if when Stardom come in, this is not a dig at Stardom by any stretch, right? And not at all. But as a whole club, I would have assumed that they would have been looking at a striker straight away and identifying one, two, maybe three targets. I don't think Niclas Füllkrug was the guy that they was looking at replacing Mikel Antonio. I simply don't, and I will say that all day long. Do you know what I'm saying? I think it was Duran. They looked at Duran for a long time, see him there. Villa knew how much he was currently worth, and West Ham just didn't bother in the end. Now, the argument is, do you buy Duran and miss out on Füllkrug and Somerville, or do you miss out on Duran and buy Füllkrug and Somerville? Now, the answer to that question is that we will know that at the end of the season. Crescencio Somerville is worth every penny, 100% worth every penny. Yeah, because I think he sorts out our left side, and he's only going to get better. He's worth more than what we paid for him. Yeah, and if he does well at West Ham, he will go for double his value. So for me, that's a no-brainer. The Füllkrug one, I'm just not convinced. I'm just not convinced at all. I think we've brought in a man who's a name rather than someone who can actually sort of do it in the Premier League, and the time will tell. Like he's picked up an injury now, so he's going to be out for another month at bare minimum. So yeah, it's not looking good, man. Do you think there's a formation where we have Bowen up top, Paqueta and Kudus in midfield just behind? Possibly, mate. Possibly. Like what? Like a 4-3-2-1 system with Paqueta and Kudus as like tens to a point with Bowen up top. Maybe, but West Ham do like to sort of play the ball down and have inside forwards. It's all about the midfield for me. Right, and it'd be interesting to see what you guys think, right, on the midfield situation, because Souček is there. You got Alvarez, you got Rodriguez, you got Soler. Like, do you sort of go right two-man midfield with Alvarez and even Paqueta to a point? Like, even though I don't like it, it is what it is. But then if you've got a front four which is vibing, then you might have to sacrifice that position. Do you know what I'm saying? But for me, Alvarez and Rodriguez, because I think Souček, even though he scores goals, doesn't he? He scores goals. He makes things happen. So I don't know, Taz. I don't know. I'm giving up. Bang on, James. Watch and closely, and you see it's big respect for but he's declined. It happens. Yeah, Ash would have been a legend if he's not the core injury. What a player! Yeah, Dean Ashton was a great player, mate. Absolute superb player. I remember when we signed him from Norwich. Um, Obviously he was ex-crew and all, ex-crew player, come through like sort of the crew ranks. And do you know what? He reminds me a bit like Kane to a point. Not mega fast, Dean, but deadly, deadly in the final sort of like third. Good with his head, good on the ground, just a good player. And I feel like he would have probably went on to go and well, sign for Manchester United if he didn't get that injury because they was looking at him for a long time. But for me, yeah, he was a great player, mate. He would probably be one of the if I was doing an ultimate West Ham 11, yeah, of players that I witnessed, Dean would probably be up there as centre forward for me. Even though Antonio has done a lot at West Ham, and other players I've seen Cotty, I've seen Di Canio, I've seen Canute, Defoe, all these sort of decent players. Dean was, yeah, I liked Ashton a lot, and it's just such a shame, mate. He gets a call up for was it England in a friendly, I think it was, if I remember rightly, and then goes and gets done in a sort of training ground incident, I think it was, and yeah, just ruins his career. Ruins his career. Which is such a shame. With the squad and the different type of players, we could see different formations and lineups, true rotation of players. I suppose, but on that, he has to get the starting one right. Like it's okay having like different rotations and different um formations, but the formation has got to be right at the start. Um, will he get it right on Saturday? That is a $1 million question. So we will see. Sean Wright Phillips did Dino in training. Gutting, mate. Absolute gutting. Absolute gutting. And that was all because of pointless. I think it was a pointless friendly. I think it was. It was like someone like Moldova or someone like that. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. But I am going to wrap it up there, ladies and gentlemen. That is me done. I was only going to do 20 minutes. I've decided to do 52 and a half minutes, which is mad. Smash a like on the video. It goes a long way. Subscribe to E20 Zone TV. That will also go a long way. Just a final sort of message before I go. Let's get to this final comment from Colin. James, mate, I do not think we will get Duran now. I agree. Could we be getting carried away and overreact? Duran, James, Ashton could have taken the ball on either side. Good link up play. I agree with you on that, mate. Ashton was super quick footed for a lump. The goal versus Liverpool in the final was a thing of wonder. He was pure class. He got done with Sean Wright Phillips in training. Yeah, I agree, mate. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up there, ladies and gentlemen. I really do appreciate you on this fine Tuesday afternoon. It's grey. Winter looks like it's on his way. I started with a video talking about like it's Suicide Prevention Day, and I'm going to end it with that. Listen, if anyone's watching this and they're having a bit of an hard time, go and speak to family, go and speak to friends. That's the main thing about life. You right, your loved ones and people who genuinely care about you. So yeah, listen, go and do that, and don't be another statistic. I will say that. Also, I hit 1 million views the other day. I mentioned it on the After Hours show, and the audio cut out and all that. So I'm going to mention it again. To say I'm proud is an understatement. I am very much proud of this. I really am. To get 1 million views on a YouTube channel over the last few years means a lot to me. It really does. I remember starting out, as I always say, 6 people in a chat like this, and basically, yeah, just starting a YouTube channel. Like I'm thinking, oh yeah, we'll see how it goes. A few years on, 1 million views, which is mad for me, right? I've got to be honest, there's been highs and lows in this game. Obviously, seeing West Ham win in Prague, yeah, that Prague moment. If I was ever going to do a YouTube channel, it would have been the perfect time to do it, and I did it and witnessed, and I've got that on film for life. Basically, that's there like forever. Um, but yeah, listen, I really do appreciate everyone who supports this channel, all the subscribers, all the people who come and go. I seem to get people come on and then unsubscribe straight after. I see you in there. You know what I'm saying? and I appreciate yous also. So yeah, we're just going to keep cracking on this season and seeing how we get on come the end of the season. So yeah, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone from the art. I mean that. Anyway, have a good day wherever you are, and I will see you again in the next one. Peace.
Hype, 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 hype.